Hello, welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final with Everton 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Another win for the Toffees. Before we start, I just want to wish Ped happy birthday. It's his birthday. He's in. He's come in. Could have had the day off. He's turned up. He's ready to go.
Why on earth would I want the day off? It's wonderful.
There's a lot of drama going on in and around the building, and Everton are flying.
It's too good to miss. Where else would you want to be?
We waited a long time for these days.
I've waited so long for this.
But there you go. Ped, obviously Everton on a decent run, but won at Bournemouth the other night. We both spoke about the difficulty of this game, the trickiness of this game before we started, because obviously we beat United at Old Trafford, turned up against Newcastle, we'd be lowest in the league and didn't perform.
Yeah.
And we were at pains to make sure Everton didn't do this again this weekend. Hope Everton weren't going to do the same, because we had an excellent win at Bournemouth in midweek. And obviously had the Forest team below us in the league at home. And there was a lot of concern over the team.
Yeah.
Because it looked as though Michael Keane definitely wasn't going to be available, which meant we were going to have to make a choice about James Garner, and it opened up things. Yeah. But as it was, Michael Keane was fit, and that made David Moyes' selection obviously easier, didn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he could just concentrate on the players he's had for the most part. Consistent back four. Obviously midfield without a Jessica and Gay, but he's had Carlos Alcaraz for 10 months or so now, and obviously using Dewsbury-Hall as he did the other night. So yeah, it luckily enough, just that one player meant that we didn't have to bring someone in who hasn't played much football this season. I do think that's something that needs to be sorted out in the second half of the season, but you can only sort that out if you've got the players.
Yeah.
We don't want to get to situations where we are dropping players in who've had very few minutes, and I do think it is rare that a team gets to this part of the season and have played, very, very few players. So that is something obviously that can be improved in this team, but having Michael Keane back, made it give us that little bit of consistency and steadied the ship.
It certainly looked. There was we'd done a show, didn't we? Thursday, Friday, whatever, talking about. It looks like it's going to be Dwight McNeil or Nathan Patterson. They were the two choices, really. And you looked at Everton's bench at the weekend. We had 8 players on it. Yeah. 2 of them were goalies. We didn't even have the full complement of subs. So that showed you how limited.
Where'd you stand on that? Where'd you stand on not having like a kid on the bench?
The only thing is, I wondered whether had Everton's under 18s not played in the FA Youth Cup on Friday night at Millwall,
and the 21s
played. I wonder if Braden Graham might have been on the bench, because I know he's the one who they're looking at as sort of the next one, but he scored 2 on Friday night. He got an absolute cracker actually against Millwall. But then the 21s, I know they played Wednesday, but no, why couldn't one of them just go and sit on the bench? I do find it a bit mad. I do find it odd. We've got 2 goalkeepers and we leave a place free as well. I find it mad, because I'm quite sure it's a great sort of little cherry, or a little sort of teaser for one of those young lads who are in the 21s. So just go and experience it, warm up, and things like that.
But I suppose on the flip side, he's just saying to people, you're not ready and I'm not going to blow smoke.
Yeah. So, we can only use 5. Yeah. So we only had 6. It wouldn't have mattered, would it, really, in that respect? But yeah, listen, there's lots of ways you can spin it, isn't there? But we had 8. And it did mean we could have the midfield of James Garner and Dewsbury-Hall, and Charlie plays a little bit higher, and we know that. But just as we'd been the victims of a poor start the week before against Newcastle, it was our turn to start fast. And I think what really impressed me about Saturday was, because we talked about it in away games, Sunderland, United and Bournemouth, Everton had seemed to and Fulham, in all fairness, Everton started really quickly. But Newcastle, we were really slow. And we ended up paying the price for it in the opening minute. But at the weekend, it started with Grealish getting Savona booked after 25 seconds or something, because he skinned him. And Everton just kept the pressure on for that, and we got our rewards after 1 minute and 23 seconds.
Yeah, brilliant start, straight at them. I mean, the free kick itself wasn't particularly good, but we worked it well. Got it back to Dewsbury-Hall, and it was a lovely cut back, and he threw the ball in, and it ends up in the back of the net. And I mean, obviously straight away, I think we all knew it was an own goal, even though it was said that it was going to be his goal. But again, just showing his importance. And Moyes actually said something after the game. He actually said about the Newcastle game. He said that he didn't feel like they were prepared properly.
Yeah.
You just wonder what that amounts to, whether it's him and the staff, or whether it's the players. I don't know what that means. I really don't. I don't know whether that's time off, what they've done during the week, you know, or what. I don't know. Sessions, video sessions. Could be anything, couldn't it? Could be anything, couldn't it? You don't know. But it's really interesting that we did fly out the traps, even though we're coming off the back of a win into this game. But obviously, I think everybody knew that it was massively important that we didn't have a bad result 2 Saturdays in a row at home. That would have been catastrophic with the fixtures coming up. And that's not like a negative thing. That's like going into those games with as much confidence as possible. So to get off to that start, I think Forest, and I think Dyche as a manager, he wasn't a particularly good manager when he's 1-0 down. No. He has a plan. I don't know if he has another plan. And I think
he doesn't, does he?
Going 1-0 down really, really, really upset sort of what he wanted to do.
Just want to have a look at the goal. Got some of the stills here just to see the movement of Dewsbury-Hall. I've got Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall circled here. He's playing the ball off to James Garner. And then this is the next bit, what we often talk about with like Milenkovic. Yeah. So we take it on. He's made the run. That's where he's going. And makes James Garner's mind dead easy. Played it and he's set off. You know, one intention is to get into that zone. He goes on. Now, this is the ball, and this happening just below me. And this is the ball I'm expecting him to just throw that right across. You can see there, we've got players running in. We've got Michael Kiernan there, Tarkovsky, we've got Thierno Barry, and we've got Njai at the back post, and thinking if he just throws this across there, then they've got something they're going to have to deal with, aren't they? But what he does is really clever. He checks back, which means that they have to slam the brakes on. And as he checks back, gets it onto his right foot. And there's the ball. Now, I've got Michael Keane because he's screening Sangari. Sangari can't see the ball, which means Milenkovic has got ahead of it. He can't see the ball either. It comes in. He sticks his head out. I said this with Michael Keane against West Ham and the few times Keane's done it this season. I don't know what you're trying to achieve that close to your goal. It's virtually impossible for you to get it away from your goal. It goes on, and obviously he's down and it's in the back of the net, and it's an absolutely perfect start for Everton. And Dewsbury-Hall just again setting the tempo with that run, the lovely little bit of skill, and then a great ball in, and Everton had plays in the box and he had to deal with it, and it's 1-0.
The importance of being a player having been able to two-footed, or certainly having the option. I mean, we've bemoaned it, and it's when you've got a player who can use both feet. The difference it makes to that kind of thing, because the defender thinks he's actually gonna either he can shuffle him out, and then for him to pull off a bit of skill like that, just change the angle, rocks everyone back, and it's little moments like that. It's quality football, and gives us the little lead, and everyone's buzzing then.
Great start, and Everton sort of just got on the front foot, as you'd expect from there. It knocked them right out their stride. There was an incident after about 13 or 14 minutes, which I'll be honest, I never seen at the time. I seen and heard the reaction. I seen him rolling around on the floor. And then you're just thinking, we've got the lead. We're in total control of this game. Yeah. And if anything's gone on, VAR are going to look at it. Yeah. Now, obviously, VAR did look at it and cleared it. I've seen it again, and I think he's a little bit lucky, Tarkovsky.
He is lucky.
I just don't understand it. I was saying to James, if that was like the 84th minute and them two have been going at it all game, you sort of understand a little bit of a reaction. This is 13 minutes in, and to my sort of memory and recollection, nothing really had happened. In fact, they hadn't even been up in that near our box, so it's just it's a thing he's got to be.
Well, he did it to Xerxes, didn't he? He did the same thing to Xerxes, and he's trying to wind them up, and he's trying to. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't get booked on it after looking at it again. He does throw the it's
a shoulder, isn't it, into his back,
and he does it into his back, and he'd already done him the other way, and then he'd done him again. So so he'd done it twice, and this one knocked the lad over. And I know, the lad, I think he might have been holding his face. It wasn't his face, but he did. Like, you would get knocked over if someone just walked up to you behind you, and and that's why I was like, it's unprompt. Like, that's what's mad. That's why I still can't understand the way Shagana Gay got sent off for doing what he did, and something like that. You go, oh, it's nothing. Like, that's where football's so weird.
He should have definitely been booked for it,
but I don't know why you would do that. Like, I honestly thought I don't want to say grow up, but I've just said that. But I thought he'd learned his lesson from what happened at Anfield last year. Yeah. I thought he'd learned his lesson of going charging round. Now, he might say, well, I got away. There was nothing to get away with because I'd done it, and it was nothing. And the lad hasn't come near me all game.
He didn't.
And he didn't, so he might go, so who's the real winner here? He does get...
You've got to be careful of, haven't you?
I suppose it's different when you play the game week in and week out. You probably know how far you can push your limits.
Maybe.
And you're speaking to the ref when he's the captain, and I'm sure there's like, it's not like he'll be speaking to the captain, to the ref, and he'll know, he might think he knows in the game how far he can push things. And he might go over and go, no, I went over and I thought he was going to put, I don't know. But it did. It's like one of those things you just think, it's a little stupid, it's uncalled for, because when a centre-back goes, you might need to do that for real, if that makes sense. You might need to pull someone down. You might need to just stop an attack, and you're going to get a yellow card, and you go, sound. There was one in the second half, wasn't there, where they were breaking, and I can't remember. And he brought him down. It might even be
O'Brien. Tarkovsky. He grabbed them
exactly,
and he got.
So you might need one, mate, and then O'Brien gets one later on, doesn't he? You might need that yellow card for something like that. You might need it. I just think when you give him one away that cheap in an area like that, you think, what's the point? What's the point? But he did it. It was stupid. I can understand why they weren't happy.
But then Milenkovic done one on the halfway line to Barry on his show, and he could see he just grabbed his shoulder, and that's why Barry went down. Everyone was going mad at Barry to get up, but because he'd hurt himself in the early on, Milenkovic knew what he was doing, wasn't looking at the ball, grabbed and twisted his shoulder, which is why he went down. But it's basically centre-backs and knobheads. But Everton did have total control over the game. I thought Dewsbury-Hall just ran the game in him and James Garner. I mean, there's much has been said about whether Dewsbury-Hall or James Garner can get in the England squad. Well, the other two they were up against are in the England squad, and the pair of them were poor, I thought. Gibbs White was shocking, and Elliot Anderson just ran around like a headless chicken. And I like him, I think he's decent, but on Saturday I thought he was poor, really poor. And they just locked that midfield down quite comfortably. And then Alcaraz is always a threat, driving forward with the ball. And we saw that Dewsbury-Hall had one where Gibbs White tried to break, and he just took it off him like taking candy from a baby, and cut inside and had a shot, and the keepers made a good save from it. And they offered nothing until Elliot Anderson put one through Tarkovsky's legs, and Jordan Pickford made a good save with his one you'd expect them to save, like I expected Sells to save the Dewsbury-Hall one that he did, but it's still a good save because they got to keep their eye on it. But they offered very little, did they?
No, they didn't. I was surprised actually how bad they were.
Although with like, you know,
they got good players though. You should supersede that, shouldn't you?
There was a brilliant Cruyff turn by Hutchison with centre of our plays that should be in the
middle of the park.
Yeah, it was.
I was surprised. I think we allowed them to have a lot of the ball, and that helped us because it was just like, well, go on and see what you can do. And they couldn't. They weren't great. Like, and I think we just most of the time it was good little. there was a lot of good little like 50-50s, and we were stealing the ball off them and in the right areas, and we looked a little bit more physical than them as well. Going back to the Taki thing, we looked a little bit more physical as well at times. Where we stronger in midfield, and yeah, I wasn't disappointed by them, but I was surprised by how very little they had. It was strange. Like,
I think Everton looked like a team who've been winning games, comfortable in what they're doing, and confident. A team that had gone to Old Trafford and won, a team that had gone to the Vitality and won, a team that knew they were better than them, and therefore got the goal and built on it, and that's sort of how it kind of played out. And we won the ball back a lot and broke sharply, and when you have players like Grealish who's so comfortable on the ball, and Dewsbury-Hall in little tight spaces keeping it, we said this, and then Jai, you know, there was a lot of just keeping that ball alive and keeping hold of it and then recycling. I mean, there were about 3 times we went back to Pickford for no reason, like 50-yard balls back. You're like, why are we going that way?
It winds me up so much.
Certainly in the first half.
It does. It winds me up so much that I don't understand why we do it. It's like a security blanket.
Yeah.
It's just like.
Do you reckon he were hearing Dyche's voice and just go, all the way back to Pickford?
It does wind me. I just felt like in the first half, obviously, I felt like it was a bit weird because even though we were never under real pressure, I just felt like we were, at times, we looked a little bit casual or a little bit open at times. But I think it's getting that balance of those players playing well and being allowed to just play football in those tight moments and starting to find the trust in each other and being comfortable. And I think as a fan that you have not been watching that, it can be a little bit like you get a little bit. It's like when you watch Manchester City sometimes, like in the last few years, as a fan who doesn't watch Manchester City, and you're just like, what are you doing? What are you like? Knowing you can sort of, like, why are you taking all these risks?
Yeah.
Like, and I know we're nowhere near that.
No.
But it is that thing.
But
of,
we're
like,
more advanced than we have been.
At times, you're just like, what are we doing that for? Like, just do sensible things. Like, and at times, like, there's one in the second half where Dewsbury takes that heavy touch on the end of the box, and you're just like, oh, just be normal.
Yeah.
Like, but for every one of those mistakes, there's like 5 times where it gets us going and we get on the front foot, and it's just a case. I suppose it's just a.
It's re-educating us.
It's getting that transition period of playing nice football and taking risks to go forward, and not always just being like bang down the line and all that, and to open teams up. And it isn't. It can. You just think, oh, don't do that. But yeah. Better players are always going to try and do cleverer things. So, and
I thought we were. There was a few where we tried to open them up and with some nice play, and they ended up getting a last ditch tackle in, or we just overplayed a little bit. Some of our final balls are still a little bit to be desired.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes we don't make the right decisions, but we broke and we got the second goal, which was the loudest cheer of the whole day. And we've got it here. We go and steal a ball back. They were complaining. Chris Cabana had done something.
Well, it hit him.
But
it hit him, and
it doesn't stop it. You can leave it. I seen one in the FA Cup yesterday. The same thing. It didn't change the direction.
I've seen one. There was one the other week in a game where I seen it, and I think it actually did change and they scored from it, and it changed the way the ball went. And I said that the ref said that he hadn't touched it, but it clearly does, like, sort of touches inside of his leg, but it doesn't alter where the ball's going.
Yeah, so
I think that's why the ref was like, no, it's nothing. So
if it hits him, he'd have blew the whistle, wouldn't he? Yeah. So there you go. So here we go. We set off, and look at where NGI starts, and we're steaming through. We've got 3 runners going. Barry and Alcaraz, I mean, they just left them 2 Forest players there. And what's really good here is the crossover run. So Barry makes that run out and Alcaraz goes the other way, and it puts Milenkovic in big trouble. And look at this, I've got him circled. So obviously there's 2 options. You can see it on that one. This is a better one. He hasn't got a clue where he is. Look, the ball's behind his head here, and he's trying to spin. But he's got Barry to one side and Alcaraz. And it looked to me at this stage like the pass was always going to be Alcaraz from when I was sitting. but he doesn't at that last moment. I mean, them two running back are running in treacle. They haven't gained any ground whatsoever. He reverses the pass to Barry, and all he's got to do there is open his body up, which he does, and once you see it roll under the keeper and in, was the loudest cheer in the stadium. And obviously we could all see what it meant to him. He was absolutely delighted. When I seen 7 of them go round the referee and all that, I thought, you know, if they chalk this off for something, I'm getting off, because this is nonsense if he'd have had another one. But
I suppose what was good about it was it took so long to get back to the centre circle that we would have already known.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like it would have took that. It took that long because of the celebrations.
I knew that he didn't go like that. And all that.
I think because the referee was involved. At first, I thought they were complaining because they thought Njayed fouled the player when he won the ball back. But obviously, with the referee being involved in the incident, there's no way he's gonna know himself. So
we blew the whistle immediately.
Yeah, exactly. So and I didn't know that till like sort of after the game. But it was weird.
Well, obviously I didn't know what I haven't got a clue why they're complaining. But you're just thinking.
I thought it was really odd defending. Like I don't understand why the defender, like, just from that point of view, isn't just running backwards, like just running on his heels and waiting for Njai to make the decision. I don't know. I remember you used to train running backwards just to do that, but to spin.
It was a weird thing. Yeah.
And now Alcaraz is the ball, really, because he obviously he's obviously, because he knows he's spinning. He's like, that's the best thing, because he's going to be completely out. And
it's a nice finish, though.
It is a nice. When you look at it again, you think, God, the goalie didn't half get to close. But I was worried that he was going to try and dink the goalie. He didn't. He just stuck it underneath him. So it was a great moment for him, and it was obviously for us getting to 2-0 at half time. You know, that's the third game in a row there's been a goal in injury time. Hasn't it? So, for that to go in at that moment and give us that little bit of a boost, and him to get his goal, it just felt like for once everything was just going to go our way.
Yeah, absolutely. And the noise was sensational, wasn't it? And you're right, it sort of just killed them, didn't it? And you know, for us, give us that thing to go and protect. Because again, I said in my match reaction afterwards, footy's mad, isn't it? He's been getting better and better every game, Barry. And on Saturday, he wasn't fully at it. He was still all right. He was winning headers and linking, but he was just having a little bit of a less impact than he's had. And that's the day he ends up breaking his duck. So it's great for him. That'll do him the world of good. You could see him. I mean, he said on his interviews afterwards he wanted to cry when he scored because of the relief and all that. And that. People forget that, don't they, with players, a young player coming in, he wants to do well, he wants to score, and the burden's on him. And every game he doesn't score, the tension gets tighter and tighter, and the crowd were magnificent with him, and they were again. And he said himself in an interview he should have really come off with the shoulder when Milenkovic done him. He was in agony, but he was like, I knew I was going to score today, so there was no way he was coming off. And you know, he ended up getting a booking, didn't he? But yeah, 2-0 at the break, come out. Can we add to it? Was the thing. We've had we get a free kick on the edge of the box, don't we? And I mean, you could have guessed where it was going, but it's the wall, and it comes back across to James Garner, who took it, and he probably should have done a little bit better with his side foot. It's straight at Sells, but you know, he could have maybe stuck that away.
What a ball by Grealish, by the way, for the ball back to him.
Yeah. But they, again, in that moment, it just seemed to be wave after wave then of us, and it was like, how many are we getting here? Because they were gone. He made 3 changes at the break to try and, I don't know what he was trying to do, freshen it up or give
But he took the lad off, he got.
And he had to go, didn't he? But he put a young lad on, Russ Abbott or whatever his name is, came on.
That was him.
Abbott. He put Hudson-Odoi on.
He actually said he couldn't believe the atmosphere.
The atmosphere, that was it, Loves it. He loves a ground with a happy atmosphere, I don't think he had a song about like feeding Scousers or anything, though, did he? So
they are the scummiest fans. I'm sorry, I have to say it again. They are horrible fans.
They're weird.
They're just like, what have you got to, like, what do you think you've got on us or anybody? I know, but like, what do you think you've got on anyone? It's weird. I don't get that. Like, I'll never understand how fans from what is seen as like a working class city start chanting that kind of stuff. I'll never get it. Like, I half expect it from United because it's Manchester.
It's close,
but even there, but I understand there's a portion of their fans who think it's a disgrace, and I get that. But I'll never understand how their fans think like this is something to be proud of. Like, it's weird. There's such, I don't know where they get there. Like, I don't know where they get there. That side of them from. It's so, especially if you know your history as well. They haven't really got that much to be proud of.
No.
But I just think, even like, do you know what? Like, as much as we have like wind-ups with the Newcastle fans, I've never heard Newcastle fans sing any of those songs.
No, they never.
Never heard them singing those songs. They can sing like, you know, the Pickford or whatever, and that's all that bands. But all that, I just think it's so strange. So strange.
Yeah, it is poor. But the 83 that were left in the ground,
the police had thrown the other lot out, so
got off. No, listen, Everton just totally controlled it, one-way traffic, and the only other moments in the game for them where they looked like they might actually get into the game was a really poor bit of goalkeeping from Jordan Pickford, which is a come for a punch, and it's like he looked like a player playing in goal the way he punched it, and he lost his bearings a little bit, and it's come out and the lads hit it, and Tahi's made a fantastic block on the line and then cleared the second one. It was the only thing Jordan didn't get right all day. It was just that one moment which almost got them, because 2-1 with 25 minutes left, it's a different game, isn't it? But we picked it up again after that, and you know, and Jai cuts in as a shot keeper, makes a really good save. The manager made a couple of changes. Thought McNeil did well when he come on.
What a great ball in for Beto.
Hell of a ball. You know, Beto replaced Barry. Great ball in. Beto heads it wide. We had the lovely little one with Grealish and Dewsbury-Hall, and he hits the outside of the post.
I was actually shocked that he didn't score that.
Yeah,
I just thought the way it laid it up, I just thought it was like going exactly where he needed it to be.
Just smashed the outside of the post, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then we went and got exactly what we deserved, which was the third goal. Corner from James Guy. Put a couple of good, real deep corners in, and you could see them with the Dyche influence. They were back post corners when they got one, weren't they? And puts a deep one in. Keeper goes up, flaps at it. O'Brien does really well, to be fair, knocks it back, and Dewsbury-Hall gets his goal. Great strike, kept it low. Back at the net, 3-0. Ran over to whatever Forest fans were left.
Well, probably because of the Leicester connection.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? They were giving him stick for Leicester. He went over and shushed them, and it was 3-0. And it was, can we add 4 and 5? That's what it looked like. It was one of them days, and they managed to keep the score to 3, which, you know, Dyche will be delighted with. But a great afternoon's work. And Dewsbury-Hall, we can't not speak about them, because this lad's come in to the football club and took it as if he's been here for a few years. I mean, when me and James done the recruitment videos in the summer, he was on our list, because I think we spoke about him last season as well. He's a player who, you know, has got real quality. He had loads of quality at Leicester, and all right, he's gone off to Chelsea and hasn't quite worked. But it's Chelsea, you know, it's a miracle if it does work. When you go to Chelsea nowadays, they buy that many players. But he's a lad at a great age with a good work ethic. But he's come into the football club and he's grabbed it by the scruff of the neck, and he wants it. He works so hard, which means we're always going to back him. So comfortable in possession, clever, like you said before. Ability to use both feet, gets him out of trouble for the first, well, not trouble, but opens up his options for the first goal. Strikes the second one with his right foot. I mean, he scored against Fulham the other week with his right foot that got disallowed. But that was his right foot, Man United with his right foot. So this is he's just been sensational. He had a couple of wobbly games, City away and Spurs at home. He just wasn't quite in it. But other than that, for me, him and James Garner been Everton's best 2 players all season, and you know, we've had the brilliance of Grealish in there with that, but what a signing for 25 million. No,
he's had a brilliant month, hasn't he? He's had an absolute brilliant month.
3 goals in 4 games.
The goals have been so key, but I just think, like, all round, he just started getting games by the scruff of the neck, hasn't he? And
I think it's to do with him playing maybe a little bit more withdrawn. He can get in the game.
I do, because I think when he plays a bit more withdrawn, he seems to get more around the pitch higher and lower,
and can break from deeper into the box.
Still getting into the channel, still going when he needs to go, but he just seems to like want that responsibility of playing all around the pitch. So when he was playing like almost in that number 10 role, I looked at our second goal And I love the fact that Carlos Alcaraz was running.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether he would have made that run.
Dewsbury-Hall.
Yeah. I don't know whether he would have been like almost camping out, waiting for that moment. I think he would have been involved somewhere else because that's what he wants to do. And I think Carlos Alcaraz playing that number 10, he wants to go forward. Yeah. I don't think he does. I think he wants to be everywhere. And I think, he's gone up a level. He's just really embraced it. And it's really like, with Idrissa being out, the last 2 games have made you think, do you know what, we might be all right. A little bit of just changing it slightly. I think we might be all right with him doing that job instead. And he might be the long-term successor
of doing that job.
But it might be slightly different. If Everton could get like a proper number 6 to protect, then it just never sat well where he was playing. I think the game bypassed him. And there wasn't enough moments.
Too good a player for the game to be bypassed.
I think he wants to be involved all the time. And I think when he plays a bit deeper, he's allowed to do that. He wants to win the ball, be aggressive, win the ball back, and then turn. And if you can't do that, and you can't do 2 jobs at once, you can't be the guy who comes back and wins the ball back, and then who've you got to pass to then in the number 10 role? So I do think the role is suiting him a lot more, and he's taking the responsibility. And he clearly is really enjoying himself as well, and knows that like this is his home now, and he's going to play every game and every minute of every game.
His attitude, fantastic. You hear his interviews after the game, fantastic. Said he's in the best shape of his life. He's never felt better at any time in his career than what he feels now. And you're right, I think maybe going to Chelsea was a great thing. For the experience of being around, he won the Conference League and he won the Club World Cup, so he's had that little extra feel of like winning something, but also not playing regularly, so it's given him that sort of appreciation of being a first teamer again. But the club and the size of Everton and the stadium and everything just seems to be fitted nicely together, and we love players who are comfortable on the ball, don't we? But he does everything. And I think him and Jack Grealish link up brilliantly. Jack will be up and down a little bit, just the nature of the way. But same with Illy on the other side, the nature of those players, it'll be up and down. But the fact that you can, over on that side, give the ball to those two and they look after it so well, it helps you just take the sting out of games where you're under pressure or whatever. And we saw that. We saw that again on Saturday at times when there was that period where there was Olays going around as we were knocking it around, and it's been some time since Everton fans were Olaying passes, but that's how comfortable it was because the good ball players. And you had James Garner, who's been fantastic as well this season. He really has. He's gone up a level. He's at, whether he's at to or not, and I think he has. I think since David Moyes come in, whatever David Moyes is whispering to him or sprinkling in his tea or whatever, he's been absolutely brilliant, hasn't he? And it's great to see. But Dewsbury-Hall, like I say, absolutely fantastic and getting better. These are the stats from the weekend. Passing accuracy 83%, 1 goal, 4 tackles. He had 5 ball recoveries and got 8. Won 8 ground duels. And if you look at his overall games there, he's got 14 games and got 6 goal involvements for the season, which is fantastic. And just a few other things for Dewsbury-Hall as well. He's one of only 2 midfielders in the Premier League this season to create more than 20 chances, to complete more than 25 tackles, to have won the ball back more than 50 times, and to have won more than 75 duels this season. So that's just how well he is playing at the moment, and that of course was his 3rd goal in 4 games. And Moyes thought he had 4 in 4 because he thought his first one had gone in. It just hit the lad on his way in. He thought that. So yeah, overall, I mean, like we said, McNeil and Beto come on and done what they had to do, which is come on and try to make a contribution, and that's what you have to do. And I feel like we should just have a quick word for Michael Keane as well, because obviously looked as though he wasn't going to be with Moyes' language, and he said it himself when he said it after Bournemouth. He thought he was out Keane. Friday didn't rule him out, but he didn't sort of go, we'll see. So, you know what I mean? But I thought Michael Keane was excellent, really, him and Tarkov. I know spoke to someone else today and they were like, they were good. They weren't up against much.
No.
The striker Forest have got not much cop. Whether he is or he isn't, but they still have to do the job. You still have to,
for Michael Keane to come back in, you know, whether you want to, at the end of the day, he's always been really dependable. And for him to say, I'm going to be available for this game and I'm going to play.
It helps so much.
It helps the manager and
the team.
He got through the game, you know, they might get a boost. They might see the team go, oh, well, he's playing there. He's get into him, win the ball, whatever it is. So for him to be on the team sheet straight away, the manager knows he's got someone he can trust, and the opposition don't get any positives out of him by looking at the team sheet and thinking, right, we can stretch these, or these are really, really weak. And for all we know, listen, if he'd been playing against Newcastle again, it might have been the same if people are running at him and all that. But it's not, they're not that kind of team. And it was really, and I thought Taki had a good game as well. I think Taki last two games just looked more like himself, and I think the manager sort of stressed that. He did in the afterwards. He was like, yeah, look at who they're playing, like Jake O'Brien, Michael Keane, but look who they're playing next to. You know, he is Mr. Consistency.
He's been all right. Like this season, he's been decent. People have, for some reason, some fans want to jump on. I've never understood it. But Kiernan had a good game at the weekend, so well done to him, because obviously it did mean things where it meant James Garner was able to play in there and help Dewsbury-Hall, because on paper they were up against Gibbs, White, Anderson and Sangari in there, and I thought, you know what, I thought Alcaraz did well as well. I think he buzzes around, and like you said, with the second goal, rather, him driving on in that run, that's just natural to him. I don't think it is natural to Dewsbury-Hall. So having that one player who will drive because he just wants to get involved. He'd had a couple of runs in the first half where he got in one, he got a shot blocked, he was trying to weave a shot away, but it's that he wants to join in on the edge of the box.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's like that's the next thing for Moyes is, and it might happen once a certain points tally's hit or whatever. It's trusting other players to come in for games when maybe players aren't at 100%, and trusting your squad. Obviously, if we have better players in our squad, that's going to be so much easier. You know, you don't want players to get to the red zone. You don't want players to get to that point where they could get injured and then you're missing them, and then you have to make that change anyway. I mean, Moyes, we say it all the time. It is funny how many times like we get to the bare bones and Moyes is forced to make a change, and it's a positive, or it benefits us. So he just has to get in the habit, and I think loads of people have championed Alcaraz in that role. And again, it's just those small contributions. It doesn't have to change the game. It doesn't have to be a game-defining moment. It's just go in, do your job for an hour, 70 minutes, and then allow the sub to come on. And you're gonna have loads of you're gonna have players who are gonna play every minute of every game. That'll happen in every single game. But I think for other players, there has to be that little bit of movement. That it has to be that little bit of change. And we haven't had that. And obviously, if we'd had that up to now, not saying we should have had it, but if we had it, then the transition for when Njai leaves for the AFCON after next week, that's a little bit more seamless. But obviously, with the way it is at the moment, we don't know who's going to be playing in that position, but how it's going to be working out. So,
yeah, interesting, but great results. Just a couple more things before we look at the final stats from the game. Everton have now won 4 out of the last 5 games in the Premier League, just 1 defeat and 6 at the moment, which is a good one. We've won 3 of our last 5 home games, which is as many as we'd managed in the previous 11. It's just, showing that moving there. It's a 50% win ratio now, Hill Dickinson, isn't it? 4 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats.
One more and we matched last season.
Yeah, so we've just got to keep trying to build on that. And Milenkovic's own goal on Saturday at 1 minute 23 seconds is the earliest own goal ever Everton have benefited from, and it's also the fastest goal we've ever scored against Nottingham Forest. There you go, record breaking Toffees, and it was obviously, of course, our record home win as well at Hill Dickinson, 3-0. So brilliant result. Let's have a look at the stats from the game. Everton 3, Forest 0, 11 shots to 7, 5 on target for the Toffees, 3 for Forest, XG 1.12 to 0.53. Look at that, 41% possession against the Sean Dyche team.
42% the new sweet spot, I think.
It is, I think. It is. There you go, a comfortable 3-0 home win, and that's what you want, and that's what, you know, Fulham is a comfortable 2. Well, should have been more, obviously 3 goals disallowed, but we are starting to get it going, and long may that continue. And obviously the next one will be a real test moment at Arsenal, but Villa have just beat them, so why not? But no, enjoy it, up to 24 points. We did say the other day, if we're sat on 24 points on Saturday night, then, you know, it sort of takes a little bit of the heat off for Chelsea and Arsenal. But just briefly, going to Chelsea, they just, you know, they last 2 games lost and drew. Nothing to fear. I know they're a good side, and on the day they can take you apart. But the way we've just played at Sunderland were flying. The way we've just played at Sunderland, won at United, won at Bournemouth, then we can go there with certainly a positive outlook, can't we?
We'd go above them if we won.
We would.
That's the odd thing, isn't it? That's the odd thing, isn't it? We would, you know. When
they got a Champions League game this week as well.
Yeah, tomorrow night. Yeah, so it's weird, isn't it? Because you picture these teams and you look thinking, and like, a couple of weeks ago they were like second in the league, and now they're only a point ahead of us, and you just think, go there, show that same professionalism that we've shown, then you know there's no reason. Obviously they're dead hard to judge because they're a weird team, but see what happens. And as you just said, the next home game is Arsenal's 8 o'clock kickoff. They've got loads of fixtures. Who knows? Maybe they're getting injuries to their key players. Yeah. So, you know, if we go there and the atmosphere is amazing and you know stuff, then maybe.
I look at it, the Chelsea thing, and obviously we'll have a Sagana Gay available again, and we'll have Tim Irobunan back in the squad. Slightly disappointed James Garner didn't get booked at the weekend.
Maybe he just will never get booked.
No, if he gets through to the amnesty bit, you know, 19 games, then great. Don't get booked. That's brilliant. But we'll have those 2 available again at the weekend, which is good. Back in the squad, boost the squad, doesn't it? Which is what we need. No, nothing to fear. Go there, the 24 points. In a really good place now, and we'll see what's what, and
see,
you know, we can have a good go at it and see what happens, because that has, for me anyway, those 6 points have massively took any of the pressure off, and because when we got lost to Newcastle and you're looking and going, got Bournemouth away, we never do anything there, and then if we'd have lost to Bournemouth, you're going, we've got Dyche at home. They got dangerous plays, you never know. You know, the week could have looked very different, and we've come out of it and somehow we're above Liverpool again, which is mad. And
it's not that mad, the shite.
Yeah, they are shite. But there you go.
How often do you get to say that?
It is.
They all hate each other.
It is mad.
Managers going to Rangers.
You have predicted it all along. You manifested him being the Rangers manager. But there you go. Everton 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Brilliant result for Everton. Another clean sheet, of course, as well. But the top was that? 3, 1, 2, is that 4 now? Last 5, isn't it? So go and get a clean sheet at Chelsea, and at least you get a point. Michael Owen talking there. Like, subscribe, let us know what you think in the comments section below. If you're on Premier, we're going to go through your comments now as well. Otherwise, see you all later.